right, brothers, time to get serious.
Yes.
Our brothers, the Houthis in Yemen,
That's how he starts it off.
they've taken matters in their own hands, Sheikh.
Mm.
They're doing what the brothers in Southeast Asia, in India say. They're doing the needful.
The needful.
Please do the needful. So, if you guys are in the corporate communication, they always say, "Please do the needful." So they're doing the needful. They're putting the Sunni world to shame. Now, we know that the Houthis of Yemen, they're more inclined towards the Jafri madhab. They're not involved in a lot of the things that other Shias are kind of
but nonetheless,
associated with.
Sunnis,
But nonetheless, they're technically still not Sunni, right? And it's still something that brings pride to as Muslims to our heart, that there's somebody who's doing something. That they've said, hey, we don't have a problem with all the other vessels of different countries coming through our waters. We just have a problem with the Israeli.
That distinction is beautiful.
The Israeli vessels.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you look at it, the Gulf of Aden is really if you look at the map, and I'll pull it up in a second, they should be charging a tax to every maritime vessel that is traveling through that strait into the Red Sea. Yeah. And they don't get anything. So what do they call? What do all these governments call them? They call them pirates. Exactly. Because they're trying to get their share. Every other, Egypt and them, they're all getting their share of taxes and stuff. And of course, but they're
not solely the reason why they call them pirates.
They call them pirates. Well, if you ask the Somalis and why they do their pirating that they do, they're like, all these other countries make money off of their passageways and all the traffic. This costs us. This disrupts our fishing and our other disruption to our what's it called? Ecosystem. Yeah, ecosystem. That when they're traveling through with their ships, we need to be compensated for it. Bam. So, I don't see any problem with them.
Go through the Suez Canal without paying. See how far you get.
Yeah. So, in response, the United States set up a coalition of the willing with countries like the Seychelles and who else? The Micronesias of the world, little tiny Pacific islands. But someone stepped up to the plate from the Muslim world to help out the United States. Yes.
Which was?
The Kingdom of Bahrain. They came, Massa, how can we help you? That's what they did. The little Uncle Toms.
Even Spain rejected.
Yeah.
Wow.
France was also initially wanting to help, and then they pulled out.
Yes.
Yep. So I think their coalition is down to 7 or something now with the Pacific Islands.
I mean, it's clear to see. I mean, at one time, probably before this, France, Spain would have all been game to go down there and aid and assist. But I think it's become so obvious of the hypocrisy and the corruption when dealing with one part of the world, a conflict in one part of the world, but yet you act differently for another conflict in another part of the world. I mean, it just so happened Ukraine and what's happening between Ukraine and Russia, at least that's really a war. But you can't call what's happening in Gaza a war, because at least Ukraine has an air force, a navy, tanks, battalions, artillery, cruise missiles, real cruise missiles, and so on, and so do the Russians. But when you talk about the Palestinian resistance and these people, it's not a war. It's not a war. And so the hypocrisy is clear, and the whole world has risen. Many governments are doing an about face, not because they like to. I mean, the prime minister of Canada, that's what he is, a prime minister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done an about face. A lot of people are doing it about, not because somehow, some way they woke up and said, you know what? My feelings have changed about things. The angel came down and touched me last night. No, but because of the pressure of the people, And as far as the Houthis, I'll tell you this. I'm a very big critic of Shia. And I wouldn't be a real big critic of Shia if it was just that the Shia believed what the Shia believed. And what I mean by that is, if it was that they believed their belief system is as we know it, but did not have that thing that they felt they needed to conquer and fight Sunni Muslims, because we all know. Have you ever been taught that you need to kill a Shia to get to heaven? We haven't. I haven't. I have never heard of it. I didn't grow religious, but I learned religion later. I have never read anything in any book that says, "Listen, guy, you need to go out and get you a couple of Shia so you get you a key to heaven." But they have that, and they've acted upon it. We've seen it in Syria. We've seen it in Iraq. So I just want to say that if the Shia behaved like Houthis, the Houthis are Shia. I don't have a problem with their belief system. That's their belief system. But look at them. They're not out trying to subjugate and subdue and kill Sunnis. They're out there doing stuff against the Zionist entity. We don't have a problem with that. We thank them, as a matter of fact. Now the rest, where's the rest at? When they had Syria, they were rushing to Syria. Where they at? They send 10,000 from Lebanon or 20,000 fighters from Hezbollah to fight against the Sunnis in Syria. And we're not talking about ISIS. We're talking about the Free Syrian Army, the revolutionaries. So I just wanted to make that clear so they could say, well, the last time I heard that guy, the one guy that's always talking about the Shia, which means me, now all of a sudden he's cool with the Shia doing this. I have no problem with Shia. There's Palestinians that are Christians that are fighting with Muslims.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clear that up.
And one of the weird things that this, since we're just on this topic, I met many people who converted, like family members and stuff, who converted from Shia to Sunni.
Yes.
And they said, honestly, like in our family, we don't curse the Sahaba. We never say anything about Aisha or anything. Mm-hmm. But there are people who do that. We know of people who do that. Exactly. But in our family, that didn't happen. So there are many Shias who don't engage in some of this stuff.
Especially
so
if they live around
we're always...
And I don't mean to cut you off, but that's probably why they were guided.
Yeah, subhanallah.
That thing where man yahdihillah fala mudilla lah wa man yudlil fala hadiya lah. Whomever Allah guides astray, no one can misguide, and whomever Allah leaves astray, no one can guide. So that's probably why they came.
Subhanallah.
And once you become filthy, your heart and your mind with that kind of nonsense, Allahu alam if there is a guidance for you into true Islam.